My job is to somehow make them curious enough or persuade them by hook or crook to get more aware of themselves and where they came from and what they are into and what is already there, and just to bring it out. This is what compels me to compel them, and I will do it by whatever means necessary.
Welcome to the Awesome Black Dad Show, where our goal is to educate, inspire, and encourage dads to become a better version of themselves. We're back, people. It's been a little while. The podcast has been on hiatus, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be back. There's going to be some changes. It's season 4, and we're going to do some things a little differently here. We wanted to elevate the game in terms of the conversations. We'll still be having the interview conversations and allowing dads to an opportunity to tell their stories, because it's important to have a platform where Black fathers specifically can tell their stories and how they're being very good dads, right? But I understand that we have to evolve and the conversations have to grow, and people want to hear more than just my voice. So I'm happy to announce that this season and all the seasons upcoming, that my homie, my 20-year plus brother, is joining the Awesome Black Dad Show as my co-host, man, and I'm elated to have him. His name, he goes by a number of names, Dilla, JD, Rail, Pastor. Right, yeah,
a little bit.
Right. So I wanna formally invite Mr. Jarrell Dantzler to the Awesome Black Dad Show. Welcome, bro. I appreciate you coming. Let the people know a little bit about you.
I appreciate you having me, man.
I
appreciate you having me, man. I'm happy to be here. Hopefully I can add to this amazing platform that you already have, man, and it could just grow. I'm just going to be the simple sidekick in this thing, man, and just ride your coattail, and, man, we're just going to have fun and open it up. And do what we came to do, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So we in it, man. We can get right to it, man. 2020 been off. Been a heck of a bang, man. Been a heck of a bang. We got a whole lot of stuff to talk about, man. And what we want to do, one of the things that we want to start doing, because of this platform, is definitely also about bettering ourselves. As we've been, if you haven't learned anything from 2020, man, there's something wrong with you, right? And so I understand now that more than ever that it's important for us to start encouraging each other to be a better version, of ourselves. So just like, in every October for the last 2 or 3 years, I've been doing the October Run Challenge. But now it's going to be very, very important that we now start pushing each other each and every month, each and every day, right? Because iron sharpens iron. Everybody says it, but now we got to push forward and continue to do that, man, because life is absolutely short, man. So, a little bit about what you've learned or you've kind of gleaned from this 2020 pandemic. What have you gotten out of it, man?
Well, first off, man, all the people who in December said 2020 gonna be the year of the vision lied. Nobody seen this coming.
Right.
I don't care. Nobody seen this coming. Nobody spoke on it, man. And one thing I've learned, basically, personally, is that there's a time where we really have to buckle down and make sure that we have, we've educated the family, the household, as to what to do. Because, when the school system got joggled up and things became discombobulated, it was like you were learning from home, but then sometimes the parents, they had to come home and, daycare and all that stuff was closing down. So now you have to learn order in the house. So now there's a totally different way of running your household.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For those of us that have kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a father show, so everybody better. But for sure.
You really had to get your house in order, so to speak.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there was a time where we had to tell the kids, okay, from this time to that time, you're doing work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're reading a book or you're doing we always have these little apps and programs on the computers, on our laptops. They do their work, hour, 2 hours. My drill sergeant, my wife, their drill sergeant, she sit there and make sure they get that stuff done. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here in the corner working. You know me, I just got to have a little small space. Right. So I learned, man, that families really have to come together and work as a unit. The whole family, the kids as well. They have to learn that they have roles in the family as well. They're not just, just kids to be bossed around, but you actually have responsibilities.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, man. And it's kind of that's been the challenging part, right? Because when you say family, it's not just about your immediate family. It's also about your extended family, right? And even immediate, right? So when I say that, it's my mom. When it comes to the pandemic, like I'm really probably it was 2 months or so before I had actually like seen my mom once the pandemic or once COVID hit. Everybody was shut down. My mom's older, so it's like she's in that risky population. So I didn't want to impact her. And if not for like FaceTime and technology, man, I would not have been able to see my mom's face for two months or 2.5 months, man. And that when you think about that, because you take it for granted, right? You get to the point to where it's like, man, I talk to my mama every day, or I can go over there and see her when I want. When they take that away from you, right, it's really shocking. And what's even more shocking and revealing is my mom and I were having a conversation, and a couple of months before COVID, probably Christmas, Thanksgiving time, we were having a conversation about hugging each other and being more intimate with each other, right? And so my mom, and I've said it before here on the show, like we aren't necessarily the hugging type. My mom will definitely show, and we know that she loves us and all that stuff. But it's like we don't necessarily embrace like that, right? And then now when you step back from it and you don't have the ability to even have a conversation about hugging your mom because you could actually, send her to an early grave. It's like, wait a minute. Like, man, it puts things into perspective so much more. And even much more so, it's like, you start thinking about time. So when you start thinking about how much time you have with the people that you love, it gets even crazier, right? So I was hearing, and before I even get into that, let me reel it back, and we'll go back to that. What I'd like to do is take an opportunity, and what we're going to continue to do for the show going forward. I'd really like to give a salute to fathers out there doing their thing one way or another. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important for us to, as men, to begin to start patting each other on the back, man. Sometimes, we just, we let our egos get in the way of pride or whatever, and we don't necessarily give our just due, right? And so every show, we're definitely going to give an awesome salute to a dad doing good things in the world and in this space. And I think I shared a video with you a little while ago. So if you don't mind, could you run that video?
Man, particularly young black man, hit me up being like, yo, I can't wait to be a dad. I can't wait to be a father. And I love that because I think the men that were a generation before us got raised by the men that were a generation before them. And those men didn't really know warm love because a man didn't express those things that way back then. And I feel like I owe those young men to tell them, like, bro, this is hard because it exposes things about you that you don't know about yourself. It exposes all of your insecurities. And it's a huge emotional undertaking if you do it the right way. So while you see me and Noemi hugged up and loved up on each other, and we got this cute vlog and we make these cute videos and cute pictures, it's because we put in an immense amount of work to make this thing happen, man. We do it every day. We be having sit-down vlogs and we be on the cusp of beefing with each other. But we find that one thing in common that just always brings us back to remembering why we're together. So, bro, when you see this and me playing with my baby and it looks really cool and you want to have those moments, just know that that's the upside. It comes with a downside, and it can be incredibly painful if you allow it to be. So before you take on a family, bro, go see somebody about your past. And go see somebody about the trauma that you've endured throughout the course of your life and start healing. Because if you don't heal from that, you'll have all this and you'll never be happy. And I don't want that for nobody, especially anybody who thinks that you can just pour water over a lady and a baby and have a happy family overnight. This ain't oatmeal, man.
That was on time, and it's powerful, right? Because, you know, going through what we're going through, and I talked to a couple of people, and people that they know, it's like they're talking about, man, there's a lot of divorces going on. So while he was talking, while it seems specific to like relationships and family, like it is definitely family and being the man and the rock in your household and trying to figure out how to keep pushing past them hard points, man. So I think it was on time. And this guy, his name is Kier. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Kier and them is that they have his wife and his family. They have a blog on YouTube on YouTube, and we want to definitely give an awesome salute to Kier and them.
Salutations.
Absolutely, bro. Keep doing those awesome things, bro, and encouraging and educating and inspiring us to be a better version of ourselves. We definitely appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
So
some awesome black dads, man. Salute. Salute you, King.
Yep. So now going back to what we were talking about, and just kind of piggybacking off of the thought of like when you begin to start thinking that we are about the time you have with your loved ones, right? So I was thinking about it, and I actually ran across another video, which I won't play. I'll probably put it on the website that people can kind of check out if they want to see it in its entirety. But there was a video of, I believe he is the owner of the Atlanta Hawks, right? And he was doing a podcast, believe on Impact Theory, and he was talking about the time he had. He was thinking about the time he had left with his parents, right? And he began to talk about it in a way that I hadn't really thought about ever, really, right? He started breaking the time down. And so when you think about it, when you think about your kids and the time you have with your kids, you really only have about 18 summers, right? And so when you think about it, it's like those 18 summers until your kid grows up and they're considered an adult. They can start making adult decisions. They can technically get out of your house, go get a job and be on their own and be an adult. You don't control them. You can't tell them to move and go and don't do this and that. I mean, you probably still could, the size of your hands, you probably slap, that's a whole nother conversation.
They know. I raised that hand, it's over with.
Right. So and when you start thinking about it like that, you figure the early part of their childhood up until 5, they're babies, you really don't know who they are. So now you take 5 away from 18, that's 13, right? And when you think about it, 18 summers, because outside of the summers, there's so much other stuff going on. How much time do you really spend with them when you're working, they're at school, and then they're spending time with these extracurricular activities. When the summer comes, you have more time with them. You can do more things. You go on summer vacations. So in Chicago, summer is really only 2.5, maybe 3 months, right? 2, right? So it's like, man, when you start breaking that down, we don't have much time to spend with our children, let alone our moms and our spouses, right? Right. And so when you think about 18 summers, what do you begin to start thinking? Like, how does that impact you when you think of it that
way? For real, I'm like, it's less than 18. If you think about it, if you have one of those kids who are super active,
right?
You know what I mean? They doing a lot in the summer when they in high school. Right. They got not only sports, but they got extra, back in Providence, St. Mel, you know what I'm saying? We went, we didn't go, but other kids went to different countries over the summer. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that type of stuff, it could be academic. So you think about it for 3-4 years, if they're that type of kid, that cuts down to 18 to 14.
Right.
And then if you really started at like 3 or 4, that's another 3 or 4 years out. So it's like 10.
Right. It's like 10 summers.
So you got 10 summers. So I would say that, I wouldn't just depend on the summer. You know what I'm saying? I would depend on, most schools have breaks. You know what I'm saying? You got Thanksgiving break, you got Christmas break, you got spring break, you know what I'm saying? And even on the weekends, as much as you can, because we've been built as a society, especially black men, to work, 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 work. You know what I'm saying? Because we're programmed to provide,
Right.
right? So whatever it takes to provide, we putting in a lot of hours. And then if we have anything we want to do extra, that takes away time too. So I think managing our time a lot better when it comes to the kids. You know what I'm saying? Whatever time we have, we can. You can do stuff at home. It don't have to be intricate. You can start a weekend game like what we used to do.
Yeah.
We used to have when my son was in high school. We used to do the cash flow game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you heard about that, but yeah, we do the cash flow game, man. Teach them how to get out the rat race and this, that, and the other. And I don't care how young they were, we were in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we get married. They like me. They get married when they lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we would do things like that. We have a game night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? New Year's Eve, we always would go in the basement and pray. You know what I'm saying? And have fun and watch movies and eat pop. I mean, what I'm saying is you can have traditions that also put time in outside of the summer. So instead of, us looking at the summer like 18 summers, well, how about the other times too? You know what I'm saying? And you can
basically, I think the reason why 18 Summers is so impactful is because it makes you realize that we aren't as deliberate, at least when I think about it, we aren't as deliberate with our time. We think of it in these long spans. It's like, oh man, the kids, because when you're in it, it doesn't seem like it's going so fast until you get to the end. And you're like, that happened so fast. Like I didn't even hear all the things that I wanted to do.
The most we gonna do over the summer, the year before, we're gonna plan the trip.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We always plan a trip, summer trip, a summer family trip, right? And then boom, we go out, and then we done after that. You know?
Right. I've done my job.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Gave you some memories, and that's it. You know what I mean? And we still got time that we can still be kicking it with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I will definitely. So I'll share a little bit, man. I was a couple of maybe last week. I was feeling a little down, man, and I had a conversation with the wife about like, man, I told her, I was like, man, I feel like a failure in some cases, right? When it comes to being a dad during this pandemic, right? There are things that I really wanted to do and I had an idea about doing, and I started those things, but couldn't get to it. I either got burnt out because I'm at home working. Like that period when we first went into pandemic mode in March through the end of school, bruh, it was tough. It was like, with us being here full time and trying to make sure, and my boys are 7 and 5. So it's like, man, they don't want to sit on a Zoom call. Like who's getting ready? We got to sit with them and do that. And it's going to be even more challenging with, coming this new school year, and we got to get some plan. But it was like making that adjustment was really tough, right? And now the wife is back at work and I'm still here. And it's like there are things from the educational perspective that I haven't been able to do because I'm trying to balance work and then trying to balance them. They hungry. Right. I got to make meetings. So it's just been hard, man. And I'm trying to figure out how to be more deliberate about the time that I spend with them and make sure that they get what they need. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's really challenging. And now figuring out what we're going to do to the end of the year is going to be even more challenging. For y'all, it's like CPS because our kids go to the private school, and I think are your kids still in private, or are you in CPS?
No, they in the youngest in CPS for right now, and then my daughter is De La Salle. She's going into her last year. Yeah. My son is over at PEX, Providence Inglewood. And Mari, he in Colorado, so
yeah. So I mean, have you and the wife been talking about how y'all gonna manage? You don't care. How y'all gonna manage during the pandemic for the new remote learning?
You know what? Honestly, man, when a few weeks into the pandemic, man, I started calling brothers up like, "Yo, you good?
Right?
You ain't killed the kids yet? You know, you ain't choked the wife yet?
Yeah."
Because it was, I literally called up all the guys like one by one, like, "Yo, You know what I'm saying? All the guys that I felt that wasn't used to, because I'm pretty much used to being at home ever since I left the corporate
Right.
world, right?
Yeah.
So I can work from home, I can work. So I'm pretty used to being around. And like I said, I just pick my little, there ain't no quiet spots, but I pick my spots when they
Yeah.
hear. And kids make noise, but especially doggone boys. But
Mhm.
I literally was calling brothers. You could tell by the conversation, some of them was like, man, I'm about to snap. I'm about to go crazy. Because you're used to it. That adjustment, it has to be made. It had to be made fairly quickly. If you
Right.
think about it, like
Yeah.
they just stop. Stuff just stopped.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then ease into it. It just cut out. So with me, man, I mean, it was pretty much, another walk in the park. Basically, it was pretty easy to us. She used to being here too. So
Yeah. Yeah, y'all
like
situation
I
is
said,
a bit more catered around flexibility and adjusting, right?
yeah,
You can
lot of flexibility.
Yeah,
She,
yeah.
she set up the laptop. They have their certain times where the school they would be on the Zoom calls and
Yeah.
learning for 2 hours, and then what I'm saying, they might have to share a laptop. So you know what I'm saying. So it
Right.
was all set up. And honestly, I'm an awesome black dad, but I ain't had nothing to do with that stuff. Man. I was just,
right. No.
it was all the wife. She's built for that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I had to tell mine, bro, like, yo, if it was not for her, like
They'd
that
be
for,
dumb.
yeah.
All my kids.
Yeah, no,
I-
man,
I-
we wouldn't have been able to.
Hey, I would disclose this right now in front of the whole world. This dad right here, all four of my kids,
Right.
I had nothing to do with them being smart. I had nothing to do with them studying. I had nothing to do with them passing tests. That was
Yeah.
all the wife.
Yeah.
The wife is a sergeant. She be on them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
other thing
no.
too, man. That's an interesting thing, and we definitely gonna have to have a conversation about that. It's what type of dad are you, right? Because we can't be everything for everybody, right? And so there's certain things that we gotta realize within ourselves, even when it comes to talking about what being awesome really means. Some dads are better on the education side, right? They're gonna stick with their kids and be hard with them on that. But they ain't gonna teach their kids how to get out here and screw a nail and screw a screw into some drywall,
But
right?
you know what? I think let me give myself a little credit. I haven't
Right. I'm not
contributed
saying you completely bowed out.
No, I haven't contributed to their book education, but I've contributed to their life.
Sure.
I'm like a mentor, man.
Right.
I talk a lot to kids. I get to talking. My kids be like, give me the Bill Cosby look, like it's about to be a long lecture. You know what I'm saying? I'm that dad. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the silly dad. Like she's strict, not strict. She's orderly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That homework better be on point.
Right.
That's
It's that structure, man, and that consistency, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Is like during this pandemic, it really broke everybody's. If you were consistent, I believe it broke some of your consistencies. And if you weren't, right, then you really struggled. It's like, man, you're trying to figure out how to stay consistent. Like it has really been a struggle, man. And we're trying to put systems in place where we can be, because that's what really matters, especially with young kids, right? 7 and 5. They're going to adhere to the consistencies, right? So if you can be consistent, no matter if you're tired or, you got a ton of energy, you got to do the same thing. You got to keep saying the same thing so that they can be, so they can understand and fall in line, right? If you're inconsistent, they're going to pick up on it, man, and they're going to pick you apart.
If you're out of order.
Yeah.
If you have order, if there's like, especially, to the dads that are used to working a 9 to 5 and then coming home and having a beer and relaxing.
Right.
You can't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? You have to shift that relaxed time somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe instead of relaxing at 6, you probably gotta wait till they in the bed at 9. You know what I'm saying? And get you a little breather, because everybody needs that. Just like you said, you got frustrated and you got to that point to where, and we all got that. It's like we need a reset.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that reset involves taking a breath. You know what I'm saying? Just taking a deep breath and going, okay. You know what I'm saying? And trying to recalibrate yourself and focus on what's really important. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like health and the money gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I always say that, man. The money, I was never a guy that chased money, but I always know the money gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? It's just working like that. It just does. That's all God. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I try to focus on the things that I can control. You know what I mean? I can control how I treat my kids, how I treat my wife, how, I can't control all this other stuff. I can't control Corona, the weather, blah, blah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It just comes and it goes. And we have to teach the kids to really be strong, not just because, as fathers, we always teach, especially our boys, to be physically strong. We want to emasculate them, you know what I'm saying? But we never teach them how to be emotionally strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Half of the dads, just like the guy we saluted earlier, like he said, man, half of the dads have never learned to even know how to, handle their emotions.
Right.
You know what I mean? And tell somebody else about it, how to handle it. So it's a lot we have to deal with ourselves, man. Look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And be honest. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, and that's another thing that the pandemic has forced me to do specifically is take a long, hard look in the mirror, right? Because when you back when things were normal, right, you were so wrapped up in your day-to-day that you had less time to really think about the things that you were doing that you needed to do for yourself and how you were acting day-to-day, right? And so now when you're home and you're home all day and you're looking like you don't have a choice but to recognize, some of the things that you're doing or not doing. And you have to come to grips with that. Or you can choose to not to, but at some point that stuff is revealing. So for me to sit back and actually see my kids the entire day and feel like, man, they've been here all day and I've been working for 12 hours sitting at my desk and I'm here and they've been running by me and I haven't been able to interact with them in any real way. It's like, ooh, it hits you differently, right? And you start thinking about how you could have done things better. And even more for me, right? I have this Awesome Black Dad show and doing these awesome black things and it's like, what about today was awesome? What did you do that was so awesome today? And I get it. I'm human. I'm not perfect, and that's the ideal thing. It's about getting better, being better than you were yesterday, right? Today has to be a better day than it was yesterday, man, and not backslide. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Well, I could speak for all the fathers out there right now to that question. What did you do that's awesome today? You didn't give up. You know what I mean? Like no matter. Even if you consider it a failure or consider the day a failure or because there's sometimes I look back at my day and I'll be like, man, I ain't getting nothing done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you wake up and the day before you kind of set my goals. Okay, tomorrow, like a checklist. You know what I'm saying? I got this to do, I got that to do, And then some days I look back, I ain't checked nothing off. You know what I'm saying? I don't consider it a failure. All right, I just got to add that to the next one and just work twice as hard to get stuff done. You know what I mean? So, all the dads that is not giving up, man, that's awesome because you know what I mean. It's so easy to give up.
Yeah,
man, it's so easy to quit.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're talking about accountability, though, right? So it's all about accountability. It's you holding yourself accountable, and what else is important too, I think, even in that, is having people in your circle that hold you accountable as well, man. Like, and trusting people. Like, so some of the conversations that we've had, in the past, and I'll tell you some ideas that I've had or thoughts that I've had, and it's like, what you gonna do about it, right? And you holding me accountable. You were telling me about something last week. What you do about that last week? So it's like having the people around you that's gonna push you to help you do the things that you said that you know that you were gonna do is vitally important as well, man. Accountability is very important.
Yeah, man. Who you associate with, man, is at this point, man, at our age now.
Yeah.
If you ain't associated with people that's making you better, I mean, what's the point? I don't care how much fun you have with it. It ain't no fun not excelling in life and not, you know what I'm saying, being the best you that you can be. It's just not fun. That's why most people be depressed because they look at themselves and they say, man, I've been out of high school for this long. I thought I would be married by now. I thought I'd have this by now. I thought
Right.
well, check your circle. You know what I'm saying? Check the people around you and see who's pushing you,
Right.
not who's succeeding. Because I don't care about guys succeeding. You know what I'm saying? I had another agent come to me and they were talking about being a successful agent and blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, it depends on your definition of success, right? It really does, because. And she was like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you individually are successful, but what other agents have you helped?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you have done your thing,
Mm-hmm.
but how many lives have you changed? I ain't talking about your clients. I ain't talking about, you help this and that person buy a house. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? But who have you helped? Who have you really pushed? And they can look back and say, man, I'm glad they gave me that push.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No.
She said nobody. So I was like, well, by my definition, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? If I were, you know what I'm saying, looking at that's not success to me. You know what I mean? So you got to change that circle, and you got to have a strong circle around you. I love a lot of the guys that I've been coming up with. But y'all know the but was coming. But if we don't frequent as much as we did back in the day, then that's because just basically. I won't say we outgrew each other. It's just that we're not heading in that same direction. You know what I mean? Like basically, it's not like you can't do anything for me because I still got love for all of them.
Yeah.
It's just like if you tell somebody you're doing something, and they be like, "All right, cool,"
Yeah.
and like you said, they're not gonna hold me accountable, or they're not gonna help me get better at it. It's like, I love you, but I'm gonna be over here doing this. You know what I mean?
And you got to do that.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you got. I mean, it's just. I think it's part of the beast. It's the nature of the beast, right? And so we just. It's basically the definition of growth, right? When you grow, when you were 5 and you turned 7 and you had your growth spurt, you could not put on the same pants that you had when you were 5, right? You couldn't be mad. You couldn't be mad at the pants. The pants were designed for your size at the time. It's for a season, right? And so the people that are in your life, for the most part, are in it for a season as well. Some are meant to stay forever. Some are meant to, and it goes vice versa. It's just not the people that come into my life. I have to understand that I am that for other people as well. So as I begin to look at, the people that I don't necessarily that I might not necessarily connect with as much anymore. I don't have any ill will for them, but I have to recognize that our paths, their growth or trajectory to grow and evolve is definite. Just didn't include me, right?
And even as an awesome black dad, right?
Right.
If you feel, if to the dads out there, if y'all feel like, I'm not as best of a dad that I could be, and a lot of us feel like that from time to time. I would say, look at another dad who you can kind of model. You know what I mean? That you can look and be like, he doing his thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can do it like that. And then you kind of link up with him, or you begin to study him a little bit. What is he doing that I'm not doing? That, you know what I'm saying, that I can get that type of that type of feeling that makes me look at him like, man, he doing his thing. And
right.
Basically, you look at somebody that can help you get better. You know what I'm saying? And we don't really have that on television anymore. We don't have that on in the music and the entertainment. We don't have that anymore. You know what I'm saying? We did have shows back then when we were little in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? We had some awesome black dads. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That imagery for sure. Imagery on television for sure. At least a baseline to model. Right now, I say these things and it's like you can look at those models. And you don't have to do the exact thing that they're doing. You don't have to be what Heathcliff Huxtable. You don't have to be the doctor with the office in the basement, with the perfect wife on television. You don't have to be that thing. You can look at what his entire model and take from it what you want, right? Now, I'm talking about the character. We ain't talking about Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying?
Did y'all hear this man say he had the perfect wife? Felicia Rashad was cold. She's still cold.
Right. Well, yeah.
Hey, we love our wives, but that Felicia Rashad was something else.
That was something else, man.
I'm sorry. I just had
No, that's real. That's real. Every little black boy wanted, was watching Phylicia Rashad.
If my wife is right now, she gonna pull a plug. If my screen go black,
right?
Electricity.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. So to all the dads out there, it's okay, right? I think we need to tell each other it's okay to look at another man, right? I think me and you were having a conversation one day, and it was like, it's even hard. Like if a dude walked by you and it's like he got on some cologne that you like, it's like I don't even ask dude what he got on, right? It's like it's so hard to kind of at least compliment each other in a way that's like, man, I like what you're doing. I might not do that thing, but I like what you're doing, and I might want to have a conversation about how you got there, right? And so when in that conversation, in that space, I may be able to find me, how I can get better and how I can evolve. And that's how we need to do it. We gotta we gotta open our doors and be able to have those conversations and be okay with patting each other on the back and say, bro, I like what you're doing, man. How you get here, how you doing that, and maybe I can pick up a little from it.
It's the same as like you see somebody and they rocking a nice outfit or, some garments or something that you see, even though you ain't that's not your style, you be like, man, that's dope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't see myself wearing it, but you rocking it. You know what I mean? And, cause I see a lot of guys and I'll be like, yo, them kicks fresh. You know what I'm saying? They fresh. I wouldn't rock them, but I know they're fresh. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not my style. But I always tell them that, man, you fresh. Especially these guys right now, since I'm doing this little trying to get in shape thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The guy I reached out to. Hey, shout out to my man Stanford Douglas on Facebook, man. A better build of a better build. They doing their thing, man. They got an app and everything. Awesome black dads as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But you look at these Negroes' bodies,
mm-hmm.
you gonna want to get in it. You know what I mean? It's just they the same age as us. You know what I mean? They backs is clicked up. You know what I mean?
Right.
These old cockstrong diesel dudes. You know what I mean? But matter of fact, I showed my wife they program, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was on some old. She looking at their pictures. She's like, yeah, you need to get with them. You need to get with them. So I said, all right, cool. I'm gonna hit them up.
Right.
2 days in the past. She like, did you call Stan yet? I said, who was Stan?
Right.
She said, Stan. I said, man, that ain't even his name. We call him Stanford. You know what I mean? She like, yeah, you need to call him. I'm like, man, would you chill? I got stuff to do. I'm gonna hit him up. Another day. Every day she asked me, bro. Yeah.
She need to cut it out.
Remember how they body.
Right.
Yeah, she was looking at me and put my face on their body. I know she was. I know. But no, shout out to them guys, man. They doing their thing, man. Love is love. I'm gonna tell everybody about y'all, man. Y'all whipped me in shape, got me sore. My knees don't hurt no more. I'm a little stronger.
Right.
I got a little bit more stamina. I feel better. So yeah, man. They some awesome black dads too, man. abetterbuild.com. abetterbuild.com. Shout out.
Yeah, we'll definitely check them out. But that definitely leads us into like the tail end of the show, right? So I think that all this stuff we doing is all talking. It's all nice and it's cool to be chopping it up about it, right? But now we talked about accountability, right? And being responsible.
What you gonna do?
What we gonna do, right? What we gonna do. So I think for the month of August, bro, I mean, we talking about it. You know, I think 18 Summers is gonna be the title of this episode, man, because I think it's important at the end of the day that we are deliberate and mindful about the time that we spend with our loved ones, whether that's your mom, whether that's your dad, your children, you know, very, very important, especially getting ready to go back into school and this remote learning, right? We want everybody to be deliberate. And I know there's dads out there doing, you know, they game in terms of spending time with their loved ones is on point. I would love to hear what you got going. So hit us up at the website at awesomeblackdads.com. Send me a message on Facebook at Awesome Black Dads page. Let us know what you're doing. And I might be able to pick something up from you, but for the people, for everybody that's listening, what we would like, what I think that we would like to do is we would challenge y'all for the month of August to find 30 minutes out of your day, out of each one of your days, I don't think that's a lot. You think that's a lot to ask? You think we should go for more? We think we should hit a little higher? But I would say at least 30 minutes.
You know, start at
Yeah. I would say at least 30 minutes a day. Be deliberate about your time, right? Find some time that you're gonna spend with your mom or with your loved ones, right? I'm going to do a better job of with my kids and be more deliberate about the time that we spend, no matter what it is. And I'm going to share that journey over the episode, the next couple of episodes during the month of August, and I'll also be sharing it on the Facebook page as well. And in the group. And by the way, I'm starting a Awesome Black Dads group that you guys can check out as well. That'll be on the website too. But yeah, 30 minutes out of each day for the month of August that you spend with your loved ones. That's the challenge. We want to hear what you got going on. We'll hear what you're doing and how it's changed you at the end of the month. We'll see. But I think that's what we need to do, and we holding you accountable for it.
What don't count is you sitting there with your girl or your wife or whatever, and both of y'all on the phone on social media. That don't count. We're talking about interacting with your loved ones, having a conversation or something, you know, a back and forth. And I ain't talking about that conversation where you talking about what's on Facebook and she's showing you what's on Facebook, or the kids on their iPad and they talking about the game and you looking at the game. No, we're talking about interaction. You know what I mean? That intimacy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Find that time. And again, like I said, we're gonna I'm gonna be sharing some of the things that we doing, whether that's teaching my kids how to play chess or play checkers with them, or you know what I'm saying. We got to do something together and be more deliberate about those things.
Checkers for you.
Hey man, cut it out, man.
You can't teach what you don't know.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
You gonna be disrespectful. I know a little bit. I know a little bit about a little bit, but just because I didn't jump down into the rabbit hole with chess, you know what I'm saying?
You know how to fail chess. That's all you know how to do, man.
All right, I'm just as competitive as you. You're gonna make me go back into war chess, man, and start reading and do what I need to do.
Any Awesome Black Dads, see me on chess.com if you think I'm playing.
He really not that good. He really not that good, actually. Yeah. So I mean, y'all can take that how you want, man. But yeah, follow him on chess.com and see, or you know, check him out.
Slap y'all upside y'all head.
Or hit us on Facebook if that's what you want to do and get that challenge going, because he think he tough.
Or I'll meet you in the park with the mask on. What's up?
you quarantine chess playing, huh?
Yeah, it's quarantine chess play. Let's go. Quarantine
social distancing. I'm sorry, not quarantine. Social distance chess.
That's what it's gonna be. Checkmate, however you want to say.
Yeah, we gonna find you. We gonna find you somebody to bust your head, man. I got a couple people that's been at you anyway that we can set up something.
Yeah, you still ain't sent them yet, man.
Hey, man,
take me to your leader. Sorry,
I don't have no. My leader is up in the sky, man. I ain't got nobody. Got nobody that leads me.
But you got somebody for me.
Right. We'll see. But that basically that's gonna wrap up this show, man. We want you. Thank you guys for joining and listening. But at the end of the day, we want you guys to, we want to challenge you and hold you accountable, man. So let's join the challenge. Let's be more deliberate about the time you spend with your loved ones, man, because COVID is real and this time is real. And like Rail said earlier, we want to control the things that we can control. And when we look back on our lives, we want to make sure that we don't have any regrets, right? We've done the things that we really had in our head that we wanted to do, and that's how we want to live our lives, man. So we want to push y'all to do the same thing.
Word.
So
word up. Hey, man, everybody out there, all the black dads out there, man, even the mothers and the wives or whatever, man, everybody stay awesome. Awesome is an action, y'all. It's an action.
Absolutely.
So anytime you're being awesome, you're doing something awesome. You're making someone feel good, or you're making someone feel awesome, and you're changing lives and you're helping people. So awesome is an action. You know what I mean?
And on that note, we can wrap up the episode, season 4, y'all. Episode 1.
Yes,
we back in it. In it. As always, we appreciate you joining us. But before you go, I encourage you to take 30 minutes out of each day for the month of August and be deliberate about spending that time with your children, because 18 summers is not a lot of time. And remember, at the end of the day, it's about becoming a better you. Be awesome.